Joining me to chat today is top Beverly Hills real estate agent with over 2 decades of experience and, from my math, over $1 billion in sales. That may or may not be exactly correct. She's also the only and first female star of $1 Million Listing Los Angeles, which kicks off its big 12th season on June 16th. Welcome, Tracy Tutor.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am so excited to chat with you. There's so much to talk about. I want to kick it off with this $1 Million Listing trailer that rolled out a couple of weeks ago. What is your reaction when you first see kind of that first taste of the season and what it's going to be about?
I'm like, oh, this isn't even half of it. I mean, it's a peek, right? And it's intended to be a sneak peek, but truthfully, there's a lot going on this season in the show that's going to be really exciting, I think, for all the viewers. And I think the format is a little more interesting this season too. We're picking up some new ways of shooting some of the properties we're following, where it's not always beginning, middle to end. Like, you'll pick up certain listings sort of midway through the process because maybe there's something more interesting happening on that. So it's really, I think, going to be a great season.
That's awesome. And a little cameo from Frederick, too, from New York.
Yeah, Freddie pops in. Freddie was here yesterday. So yeah,
at your
he's
house?
in LA full time and selling real estate. He lives down the street from me, and he's a pal. He's great.
You've gotten a lot closer to Josh Flagg in the last couple of years, too, haven't you?
I can't kick that kid. He has my gate code now. So, he shows up and walks in the door. I was sitting in my backyard yesterday, and he just walked into my backyard out of nowhere and was like, I'm hungry. I'm like, deal with yourself. I already have 2 kids, but he's a hoot. We have such a good time together.
It is. It's like having another one around, huh?
I know. He is like my 3rd child. Bobby's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, one thing about $1 Million Listing LA is that we don't always get to see a ton of your personal life. Are we going to see you dating or with your girls or your workouts that have become internet famous now? Anything when you're off the clock?
My girls are still not appearing on the show. That was a decision that Jason and I made when we parted ways as a couple, and we just wanted to protect them. I mean, whether or not maybe if there's a new season coming for you guys after this next round, perhaps they'll join again. But we just kind of thought it was in their best interest to keep them off the show. And then as far as my dating life, I don't know if you're really going to see that on the show this season. I was a little bit protective of that, but I am dating and I'm happy.
Well, we like to hear that very much. How about dating in quarantine? Like, you have to be extra careful, obviously, because you have kids at home. Are you one of the people that's willing to chance it and go maybe meet up at a park or something?
Let me put it to you. I'm quarantining. I've got my little quarantine, and I've got my girls and my trainer and a few other people like Josh, who I can't, like I said, kick, who's just part of my inner circle. But yeah. I mean, I think I take probably chances better than most. But I had it, so I've already been there. I had it in early March, and I didn't have it bad. But I did, take 2 antibody tests, both which confirmed that I did in fact have COVID-19. So I feel a little bit, relieved in this sense until, and if it, mutates into something else in the fall, then I'm sure I'll have to deal with that. But for now, I'm kind of like living my best life.
Well, yeah, even though you were sick, we saw you still getting your workouts in. You kind of broke the internet a little bit a few days ago with a big post about your progress and really showing us kind of how you get down in the gym. Did you have any apprehensions about sharing that with people?
I did. I mean, first of all, everyone's so damn judgy. And I happen to have, a very supportive female following, and even, the men that follow me are, and it's amazing to see. But I had to be comfortable with getting to a place where I felt good enough about my body to just kind of take a picture, not put a filter on it, and be, comfortable. I just, the fact that people are making adjustments all the time, and they post on their social media, and it's like, is that you or is it not? I had to get to a place where I was comfortable with it, and I snapped a photo that day, and I was like, you know what? Wow, I'm really proud of the work that I've been doing, and I shared it, and I got really positive feedback.
So, will you be leaving real estate anytime soon to pursue a full-time gig as a fitness model?
Yeah, no, I have a lot more work to do in that department. No one's making any money as a fitness model at my age. Sorry.
Well, in addition to real estate agent, you are also adding author to your resume this year. I have to tell you, I read a lot of celeb books, and I am really, really excited about yours. It sounds very unique. What do you want people to get out of it?
I had a platform by, being lucky enough to be on a TV show like Million Dollar Listing, and I think being a part of the Bravo family. And I think it's such an incredibly inclusive network and a place where you can kind of share and be accepted and be different. And I thought that, there's a lot of women, and particularly in the last 5 years, this movement of, wanting equal pay and wanting to be respected in the business world. And it's something that I've struggled with for 20 years. And all of a sudden I had this platform and I was like, you know what? I want to share what I've been through, a ton of failures, a ton of sort of misjudgments on my part, and just a lot of learning. And hopefully I can share that with young women coming into business, or women that maybe are my age and thinking about getting back into the, workforce or into the business world and are kind of terrified. And I think we all live with that fear of judgment and failure, and it inhibits us on a large scale. And I think particularly with women. So it's something that I felt I wanted to do. And so we wrote it, and the pandemic happened. So I'm like, awesome.
Well, I'm guessing there's some tips on dealing with something just like that in the book, right?
There is. It's a lot. And what I like about the book, and what I think it is it's a really great start to sort of having some really basic tips as a young woman coming into the business world on different things that you can do, from the way that you dress to, things that you do before you even go on an interview or a meeting or a coffee with somebody. Diligence, knowing different personality types, knowing how to deal with them, knowing when to insert humor. I think it's also a lot about self-awareness. So I talk about all of those things, and I think it can be a good start for a young woman coming into the world to kind of have this book as a go-to.
And you're doing that by sharing your experiences? Like, are we going to learn a little bit more about Tracy by reading this too?
You're going to learn a lot about me, just a lot. I wouldn't say it's a biography, but I would say that there's definitely some things that I don't share on the show that I share in this book. And, things that, little peeks into some of the clients that I've had onto the show, but maybe didn't air, which I think some of the viewers will find interesting if they watch the show and pick up the book. And, I share a lot. I really do. And I think it's maybe the first. I don't think it's the last.
Oh, I like that. And it's fear is just a 4-letter word, right? So
Yes.
why choose that as a title, or why fear as the theme?
Well, that's, I think, so interesting that we're sort of in the middle of this pandemic right now. And, everybody, I think, had a lot of fear coming into what we're all experiencing all over the world. And I think it's pretty timely that this book is coming out, because I think that's exactly what it talks about. And I think that that's what prevents us from being our complete authentic selves and ultimately having the success that we deserve as women. I think that a lot of times in the business world and in our personal relationships, men can be very dominating, and their personalities are dominating. And when we're dominating, we're either bitches or, it can be construed in so many different ways. And I just wanted to talk about sort of embracing that fear, sort of owning it, and then putting it to the side and letting it go, and really just, I don't know, I call it sort of diving off the diving board, but you just aren't really sure how deep the pool is. You have to have that confidence and the ability to just go for it. And that's, I think, like, it's big risk, big reward. And that's a little bit of what I felt, I think, drove my success. And it's all about taking chances and just being 100% authentic, good, bad, and ugly.
Wow, I can't wait to give it a read. For everybody listening, it is on pre-sale right now. You can get it. It'll come out July 14th. And
Yes.
give us a little taste, maybe your favorite tip from the book. You don't want to give it away all away, of course. But what is one great piece of advice from this book that you think will really resonate with people?
You know, I think really studying personality types and knowing different personalities. I think that there are ego driven people. I think there's creative types. And I think that there's manic behavior. And you have to know what you're walking into. And that's, doing diligence ahead of time. And in most cases, every single person you're going to meet is pretty much available if you just Google their name. You can find out something. You can look at their social media and see, are they a person that cares? Are they ego driven? Are their pictures curated? Or is it like maybe a picture of like them and their dog and it's a little bit sloppy? Like that's not necessarily an ego driven person. So it's kind of doing your homework to figure out what kind of personality type you're dealing with. And then I think as far as being able to walk into the room and own it, when you know what you're dealing with, it makes you more prepared and then in turn makes you more confident to do you.
Gosh, I like that. All right. Well, we are going to do all of our research and we are going to pre order your book and watch the new season of Million Dollar Listing. Is there anything else you have going on or anything upcoming that you want people to be ready for?
Well, the premiere is for Million Dollar Listing has been changed a few times, and the fans are getting antsy. So I will tell you once and for all, it is going to be June 16th, and we will be airing at 9 p.m. With a long episode for you guys, and then we're every Tuesday at 9 p.m. thereafter.
Yay, I am so excited. It seems like you guys would have had the season in the can. So are they just kind of behind on editing over there at Bravo, or do you know why the pushbacks?
Okay, so yeah, so I will tell you, this was a long season. We shot longer than we normally do. We're a year-round show because we're following real estate. So, it's one of those things where most shows, maybe they're shooting 4 or 5 months. We're shooting usually 11, maybe 12. This month or this season, we went to 14 months. And then COVID happened. So, I will tell you, we weren't exactly done with the season when COVID started. So you will see us all at home, and that's a little sneak peek for you.
Wow. And I am so interested in how you guys work from home and how you stay in touch. So cannot wait to
Yeah.
see that on the show. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Tracy. We are clamoring for any little bit we can get from any of you. So this was just a fabulous little tease. And we're going to get the book and we'll be watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit.
Thanks, Christy. You're super sweet. It was nice to meet you.